Hailed as the most famous and greatest out of Gerry Anderson's incredible filmmaking career, Thunderbirds turned 60 in 2025 and is being vastly celebrated with a host of exciting events and memorabilia celebrations. Century 22 Productions is proud to bring Thunderbirds Dateline 2065, calling international rescue. A special investigation into the technical specifications of the series' star vehicles, characters, and also guest vehicles. It unveils exclusive new information that is essential for fans of the series. Learn everything from the secrets behind Tracy Island to the Thunderbird machines, alongside the Sun Probe, Crab Logger, Fireflash, and more. So, stand by for Blastoff. Welcome to International Rescue. International Rescue was formed to provide a means of service when all other methods of rescue have failed. Having spent over 2 decades building up the Tracy Corporation, from agricultural machinery manufacturer to a globally successful aerospace construction engineering empire, Jeff Tracy, a billionaire ex-astronaut, could have retired to a life of luxury. For some years he was becoming increasingly conscious of the shortcomings and the hazards of man-made technology and the inadequate lack of specialized global rescue resources. The tragic death of his wife could have been prevented with the aid of suitable rescue equipment. Jeff was also becoming aware that the advancements in technology that benefited people's lives could be used to endanger life. His solution was to devise a rescue organization that would benefit mankind when all other means of emergency services had failed. Based on the Tracy Corporation geological studies of the super-strong mineral Kahelium X in remote Pacific islands, Jeff realized that he could retire to a luxurious tropical island that would serve as the basis to launch his ideas. The manufacturing of various components and devices would be sourced from different areas of the Tracy Corporation to form aircraft and vessels that were efficient and reliable and could transport rescue equipment that fly faster, carry more payload, dive deeper, and travel further into space than any other existing craft. Each vehicle could also be equipped with revolutionary anti-detection equipment to ensure none of the remarkable machinery used by his organization would be copied or revealed publicly to prevent the leak of the organization's remarkable technical specifications. Situated in a remote sector of the central Pacific Ocean, midway between Australia and South America, Tracy Island appears to the outside to almost be a barren rock. The Tracy Villa, the personal main residence, is situated on a plateau on the north side of the island. The roundhouse is a unique architectural structure built upon a shrunken Japanese garden and is suitable for island guests. Further guest accommodation and leisure accommodation can be found in the canopied cliffhouse. A runway allows a landing strip for personal aircraft to land and a passage to the mainland. A communications mast is also present to allow for contact to the outside world. Now the island is no longer active, Jeff's purchase of the island was quickly commenced as a luxury retreat. To help sustain the facade of the organization, a tasteful interior design incorporates modern comfort. The Tracy Island Lounge incorporated a balcony overlooking the outdoor swimming pool. Behind the Tracy Island placid facade is the astonishing International Rescue's conversion of a remote rocky outcrop with a complex network of launch bays, power plants, labs, and service tunnels, which provide the fleet for the rescue vehicles and additional specialized equipment. Thunderbird 1 is stationed on a mobile cradle ready for deployment for launch through a hangar underneath the swimming pool. Access to Thunderbird 2's pilot entry is from a high-velocity chute system. Thunderbird 2's pod bay is a storage and maintenance area for ancillary rescue vehicles, and pod containers for specific required missions. For the launch of Thunderbird 2, concealed hydraulics incorporated into the palm trees linking the vehicle's runway are lowered as to not to obstruct in the way of Thunderbird 2's wingspan. The use of the concealed ramp allows Thunderbird 2 to be launched with maximum efficiency, cutting mission response time. By means of a non-flexing hydraulic ram, Thunderbird 3's launch coach is lowered onto a rail-mounted automated flatbed transporter, which carries its occupants to the launch silo of Thunderbird 3 with rapid transport. When in position, the couch is raised into the base of Thunderbird 3. Once pre-launch checks are carried out, Thunderbird 3 blasts the center of the roundhouse. Other naturally formed caverns beneath Tracy Island have been adapted to house a compact power plant, maintenance bays, and laboratories, so brains can carry out research and experimental development to create new rescue devices and vehicles in sealed areas. An inspection monorail connects the entire island with a monorail system. International rescue acts on emergency call to assist in situations where conventional rescue methods have proved inadequate. At times, the organization may choose to involve itself in operations which will ultimately save lives by prevention of a disaster before they arise. The motto of international rescue: not to give up at any cost. My personal favourite vehicle within Thunderbirds and the Gerry Anderson legacy, Thunderbird 1 is International Rescue's high-speed spearhead reconnaissance craft. Designed to reach danger zones quickly, Thunderbird 1 can travel at 15,000 miles per hour. This allows pilot Scott to assess the situation of a rescue scene and report back with details of how best to proceed with the rescue. Thunderbird 1 is powered by an atomic fusion reactor. As with all the Thunderbirds, there are programmed computers which incorporate nanotechnology that transfers commands to the aircraft's sophisticated systems. The retractable wings and atomic rocket propulsion systems are compactly incorporated into the craft's slim, streamlined fuelage and rear-mounted booster assembly. Variable wing geometry allows Thunderbird 1 to operate at optimum efficiency in upper and lower atmospheres. The port landing legs possess a flexible hinge and joint configuration, allowing TB1 to land on almost any terrain. Thunderbird 1 is also equipped with an ultra high frequency guidance system, an electronic beam for wiping magnetic film, a device which emits blackout smoke which is exhumed from the tailplane of the craft, as well as steel spears. The sonar tracking system can be lowered into the water from the underside of Thunderbird 1 whilst in hover mode, and is used to register life signs at underwater depths and distances. The remote controlled TV camera uses anti gravity technology to allow Scott to view a disaster scene from the safety of Thunderbird 1. Thunderbird 1 contains an automatic camera detector and retracted machine cannons for demolition work or to clear hazardous areas, as well as grapples. The vertical launch of Thunderbird 1 comes from tail-mounted rockets which provide lift-off thrust for launch from Tracy Island. Aboard the cockpit, the pilot's seat is mounted on a swing to keep the pilot upright during the change from vertical to horizontal flight. A control panel in front of him features a central multi-purpose television monitor on which can be projected route maps, touchdown viewing, and normal communications. The multifunction video display provides all visual information for flight control and communications and is transmitted to the control cabin video display. Among the controls aboard Thunderbird 1 are the twist grip booster controls, radio communications, and microphone settings, along with auxiliary equipment function selectors. Scott's mobile control unit is carried in the rear section of Thunderbird 1. The unit has an anti-gravity generating system on the underside, allowing Scott to move it by remote control to a good location. The unit provides a focal point which allows international rescue to communicate with local authorities. The console contains microphones, computers, and communication antennae, pod vehicles, steering controls, and TV cameras. The console can be moved by Scott using a remote steering control mechanism using artificial gravity generators. When aboard Thunderbird 1, the mobile control unit is clamped to the vehicle alongside Scott's hoverbike. Thunderbird 2, International Rescue's heavy-duty equipment transporter, renowned for its strength and power, with its 6 interchangeable pods that can be set aboard the craft in its hangar on a conveyor belt. Thunderbird 2 carries vital heavy engineering and life-saving equipment to the danger zone at a speed of 5,000 miles per hour, and at 2,000 miles per hour at cruising speed. Its engines are powered by 2 variable cycle gas turbine engines, operating as turbofans at low speed and supersonic combustion ramjets at high speed. TB2 contains an automatic camera detector, a 4-person heat-proof rescue cage, an air-to-air, craft-to-craft in-flight unit, a rocket cable launcher, a drill, laser and thermic lances, a radar and forward detection unit, a life support unit, laboratory, storage bay, living accommodation, hover jets in the holding bay, and missile launchers. The back of the craft contains an electromagnetic pod lifting system to lower, drop, or collect its pods, alongside the craft's atomic generator, which supplies heat to exchangers and turbo-electric generators. The telescopic legs of Thunderbird 2 raise the craft above the pod. The landing leg contains vertical thrust rockets to aid takeoff and landing. Each pod contains various equipment stored within: an electromagnetic grab hydraulic arm, electromagnetic grabs, and a turntable for its vehicle stored within. Thunderbird 2's sophisticated controls allow for the release of pods, firing of missiles, collection of objects using grabs, the missile option selection, lowering of the heat cage, etc., all of which aids for rescue operations. Thunderbird 3 acts as International Rescue space rocket and is essential for the organization's operational management. Piloted by Alan Tracy, Thunderbird 3 is the space rescue and shuttlecraft of the International Rescue Organization. Launched from Tracy Island from a hidden silo under the roundhouse, Thunderbird 3 is often used to ferry supplies to Thunderbird 5. Thunderbird 3 is 287 feet in height, and its nacelle span is 80 feet. Thunderbird 3's launch thrust is 4.5 million pounds. Standard acceleration of the craft is 1g, and maximum sustained acceleration is 6g, and emergency acceleration is 10g. Its range is unlimited and is powered by a supercore atomic fusion reactor. There are 3 chemical thruster rockets used for launch, landing, emergency boost, and orbit change. There are airlock doors which provide entrance to Thunderbird 5, a uniform storage unit, a central storage unit which carries supplies, along with sleeping quarters, retro rockets, tractor beams, lounge life support systems, a grapple, and a dual flywheel motor assemblage, which allows the rocket to maneuver to dock aboard Thunderbird 5. The crew are trained to perform ship-to-ship spacewalks and external repairs. On return to Tracy Island, Thunderbird 3 follows a computer guidance system to position itself in mid-air for vertical ascent back to its hangar. Thunderbird 4 acts as International Rescue's underwater reconnaissance craft and tackles underwater emergencies. Small compared to the other Thunderbirds, Thunderbird 4 is usually launched from Thunderbird 2's Pod 4 at the danger zone. Access to the craft is gained via the port and topside airlocks. Thunderbird 4 rivals the capabilities of the super subs operated by the World Aquanaut Security Patrol. Thunderbird 4's underwater speed is 160 knots. Surface cruising speed is 40 knots. The emergency launch speed is 30 miles per hour, and its maximum operating depth is 30,000 feet. Powered by an atomic fusion reactor, should Thunderbird 2 be out of action, Thunderbird 4 can be directly launched from Pod 4 out of its hangar on Tracy Island. The missiles, hydraulic rams, laser cutters, and grabs are used to remove obstacles and recover objects from the seabed. Thunderbird 4 also has a paralyzing ray, a sonar sensor, sound scan detector, and a halogen lighting bar. Thunderbird 4 can also radio control specialized underwater rescue equipment, such as the sealing device. Thunderbird 4's telescopic airlock possesses a strengthened armor glass viewing point, allowing for full, excellent visibility for Gordon. The launch of Thunderbird 4 from the pod, once landed on the surface of the water from Thunderbird 2, is deployed smoothly. On return from a mission, the rail is further extended into the water beyond the pod door, whereupon Thunderbird 4 is maneuvered to face forward just above it. Thunderbird 4 is then lowered onto the rail and is clamped into position, and the rail retracts onto the ramp. Thunderbird 5 acts as International Rescue's space monitoring satellite. Vital to International Rescue's operations, the communication satellite is located in a classified orbit around the Earth, monitoring all communication wavelengths. Manned by either John or Alan on a rotationally monthly basis, and sometimes very occasionally Scott, Thunderbird 5 is linked to Earth via Thunderbird 3. The satellite is electronically cloaked to avoid detection from ground-based radar or other spacecraft's sensor systems. Thunderbird 5's reception range is 100 million miles and is powered by atomic batteries. International Rescue Space Station is in geostationary orbit 22,400 miles above the Pacific Ocean. Thunderbird 5 has a high powered telescope incorporating a wide field planetary camera aboard an astrodome, a digital audio recorder, a medical bay, a lounge, and a mobile entertainment system. The main monitor console is linked to the language translating computer systems and can record all messages with words such as help, calling international rescue, and emergency, which are transferred to the computer console for John to receive. Thunderbird 5 also contains 6 electromagnetic cloaking baffles, anti-radar systems that prevent the accidental discovery of the satellite, and space scanners, which can be used to detect meteors and monitor space communications. The docking port for Thunderbird 3 allows easy access to Thunderbird 5. At some point, around 2067, all the Thunderbirds and major vehicles were given a major technical redesign to their internal aesthetic. In 2068, Jeff insisted on the need for international rescue to have a new Thunderbird vehicle, the craft he described as Thunderbird 6. He assigned Brains with the task, but has no specification for him to work to. 3 proposed miniature models made by Brains throughout the year were rejected by Jeff Tracy. Since Brains and Alan restored a Tiger Moth plane for Alan's unconventional journey from Tracy Island to England for the takeoff of Skyship 1, it was kept in dock and aboard Pod 5 in Thunderbird 2 and was carried in the pod to danger zones. When the Skyship 1 disaster occurred, the Tiger Moth provided the perfect means of a light and swift transport to recover the crew from the danger zone. In the final part of Century 22's celebrations of Thunderbirds, Captain ThunderWho delves into the revolutionary specialized rescue gear used by International Rescue on a mission-by-mission basis. This will expand to cover all the most supersonic, high-powered, globally famous machinery used throughout the universe of Thunderbirds to new depths of details.